Welcome back to Real Cast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City of Adelaide Fishing Field Team, the COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, what I want to talk about, well, with just a little impromptu session, let's talk fishing. Been going back out there doing a little fishing again, hitting some of the local ponds. I did hit an impromptu session, just kind of last minute last night, and didn't do so well. Had a few hits here and there. I was hoping for something better, but hey, well, nothing happened. But anyhow, what I did end up doing today was made another quick trip to the pond behind In-N-Out Burger. And let's see, I did get one bass on there, fortunately. I was going with the Rapala Husky Jerk. It's a suspending lure that you cast out, and you kind of do a little twitch motion, and sure enough, you'll be able to get them to strike. Well, I only had one. I did have one other one come up and swipe at it, and unfortunately, I missed them. So, hey, that's the way it goes, you know. Anyhow, I just wanted to get together and just do a real quick impromptu session and just see how much engagement we can do tonight as I kind of stand by for a little tasty taste here. Anyhow, I think some of the things that we plan on doing this weekend, 4th of July weekend, tomorrow being the 4th, we'll be watching the rain clouds and whatnot, but I think we might be able to make that run up to Denison Dam. So I've got my gear standing by over here right now, and cross my fingers that happens. Howdy, Ground Fog. How's it going? Thanks for joining tonight. Just doing a little impromptu session, just trying to give some updates on some of the happenings out there. 2 outings, and I've struck out, other than I did get one bass today on that Husky Jerk, but I dusted off the surf casting gear. I think we might make that run up the Denison Dam. I did take a look at the generation schedule, and it's looking like, 96 megawatts, 14,000 cubic feet per second. Trying to get the heads up from our subscriber earlier who gave us a heads up about Denison Dam and how they're doing really well right now. So I've got a break in the action from the day job, and may get an opportunity to get out there and maybe catch a fish or two. So cross my fingers that happens. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. And while I'm here, I might as well go through. Haven't done this in a while, so let me go open up my iPad real quick. All right, it's been a while since I've gone through the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing, so hey, we might as well do that tonight since yours truly has the time to do that. All right, let me just kind of flip through here, get to the, let's see, I've got it on Amazon Kindle, and what I want to show you is the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. Looks like we got, we're on number 157. Okay. All right. So this format is I go through the tip, the suggestion from the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. And I'll just start going through these different tips and call out anything that, that reminds me of something maybe that I did or didn't do. And let's see where it takes us. Okay, so let's start with number 157. Okay, I'll read it. Even experienced anglers sometimes have trouble figuring out what trout are eating when several different insects are on the surface. For example, you may observe fish rising amid a huge mayfly hatch, but can't get a hit on what seems a realistic imitation. The dilemma may be the result of a shadow hatch of smaller insect, for some odd reason has become the center of the fish's attention. In such cases, a suction stomach pump available in most trout shops can be invaluable. Use it carefully so don't injure the fish, and you'll quickly discover what's on the menu. And I do keep a little stomach suction pump thing, and yeah, you have to be careful, but it has helped out many times where I'm seeing fish rising, the trout are eating whatnot, and I think I've dialed in what I believe they're going to be feeding on, and it turns out I'm not getting any bites, and I finally get one on the off chance of it decided to hit my bait, or in this case, fishing fly. So take the stomach pump out, kind of squeeze it in, squeeze it out, and take a look at what's in there. And lo and behold, in my case, what I thought they were feeding on, some surface insects and whatnot, turned out they were little midges instead. So these little small zebra midge style, size, maybe size 20, maybe size 18 midges. And so I guess that's what you're talking about, pumping for information. Okay. All right, number 158, dishing up the facts. Suppose you can't catch that first fish to perform a stomach scrutiny. Many anglers carry a portable scene so they can take a quick surface census. Lefty Cray, noted for his clever ideas, cites a handy alternative. Cut out the bottom from an ordinary soap dish and place it with a fine mesh wire. When you put it in the water, insects will collect in the mesh for easy identification. You can keep them available for later inspection by simply closing the lid. Okay, well, dishing up the facts. It's just talking about something that Lefty Cray, fly fishing legend, who has since passed, keeping a, let's see, what is it? Soap dish handy. All right, cool. I like it. All right, let's go on to the next one. Yeah. 159, quick change artist. Okay, let's see what we got here. In the same vein, one of the most vital elements of success rests with the ability to switch flies or even make complete adjustments in tactics when conditions turn. On streams, conditions rarely stay the same for long. Hatches come and go. Trout move from one insect to another. Focus changes from top to bottom. Those moments when fish are feeding aggressively are precious. Stay alert, be ready, and make a quick transformation right along with the trout. Let's see. So I'm a little struggling about this one because do you quickly change a pattern, a tactic, or do you kind of gut it out and just kind of see if something will change? It's a tough one. I would say yes, be ready to make some changes, but sometimes kind of play with it. I think earlier in the book, it did talk about before you switch patterns, maybe add a little weight because maybe you don't have your fly presented at the right level. In this case, too high versus too low, or need to get further down below to where the trout are lurking. So maybe take that in mind before you start changing your patterns. All right, let's go on to the next one. 160. Time is fish, right? Time is fish. Tournament fishermen know the supreme value of time. Bass pros keep several rods loaded with a wide variety of lures, switching from one to net the next until they find what's working. They make every minute count. These options generally aren't available to fly fishermen, but there are ways to reduce annoying downtime, such as tangles with multiple fly rigs that steal long minutes. In the case of float fishing, hundreds of yards of precious water. The solution? Prepare several such rigs in advance. When you get a snarl, quickly snip off the offending tippet and tie on another. A quick one-knot process. The extras can be wrapped neatly on a piece of cardboard inside a zipper bag. And you'll catch more fish, and is important, avoid a lot of mental anguish. Oh man, I tell you, this is one that you definitely do keep in mind, especially when it's cold and your fingers are feeling like thumbs or acting like thumbs, and you're trying to re-rig or tie up something, start from scratch basically. because you had a break off or whatnot. Yeah, I would say time is fish. I do agree with that. And also getting the key takeaway being prepare several rigs in advance. So, hey, I'll drink to that one there. A good one to keep in your back pocket. All right. 161. 161. Oh, wait, here, let me see. I think I've got it here. 161. I think there's a way I can show you. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Oh, shoot, I missed it. Okay, 161. What I wanted to do was get you to the let's keep going. I was trying to show you the cover of the book. It's called The Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. You can kind of see it right over here. Okay, and it's a good book. I usually go through it throughout the years, and eventually just kind of get some reminders of some suggestions to do when you want to go out there and do a little fishy. You know what I mean? All right, 161, the corset connection. God never made an insect with rubber legs. Fly tires, of course, do, and trout just eat them up. The reason is most fish are titillated by anything bite-sized that exudes life. Years ago, someone made a fly wiggly and jiggly by using rubber fibers from those elastic devices used to shape women's figures. Thus, the girdle bug was born. Okay, imaginative tires have since contrived to attach rubber legs to all sorts of patterns, almost always with satisfactory results. There's a general message here about attracting fish, particularly with larger flies. You'll seldom go wrong if you make a fly look alive. Like a house cat teased with a piece of yarn, trout can't resist the tantalizing action of rubber legs presented with just the right twitch. Visibility of white rubber also makes this a particularly effective pattern in murky water. Hey, guilty here. I definitely like having rubber-legged foam grasshoppers, foam spiders, the Bet's brim getter. Yeah, I definitely. In fact, let's see, if I had to do it all again. Well, shoot, I did do that. My first fishing fly was a Bet's brim getter, a little foam spider, surface whatever fly with white rubber legs. All right. So yeah. Oh yeah. So I've never seen a rubber-legged insect, but it certainly does work. And in fact, most of my best bites have been on the surface like that. So good news there. I'll drink for that. Okay. 162. The early fly gets eaten. Crowding is a reality when fishing desirable public water these days, which makes arriving early a good strategy under almost any circumstance, an even better idea. With a brain the size of a pea, a trout isn't the brightest creature on the planet, but trout do have the ability to learn about constant intrusions into their environment. After being exposed to parades of an angler's assorted flies, and occasional stings in the mouth from those flies, fish become far less likely to bite. There's real advantage in getting to the water ahead of the crowd. You'll also find a stealth benefit from low light conditions in the early morning. Trout are almost more likely to look up for a fly without a bright, late morning sun beaming into their eyes. Okay. Early fly gets eaten. I have done a couple of morning trips this season, coming out about 6 o'clock in the morning. And sure enough, I've been able to get a few more bites than anticipated, especially when the heat really kicks in here coming up in this summer. Is it already summer? Anyways, we hit the 90s here over here in Texas, so hey, it happens now. All right, let's keep going. It looks like, well, there's no one listening, so I'm just going to keep going. All right, 163, through the looking glass. Through the looking glass. Okay. Most fishermen know the value of polarized glasses in penetrating surface glare to spot fish. To use those glasses most efficiently, it helps to develop an understanding of where trout are likely to be. That way, you'll spend less time staring into the blank water. Less understood is the benefit to be gained from binoculars in seeing subtle rise rings and other movements from distant vantage points, such as high embankments. Not only can a compact set of binoculars be a valuable fishing aid, it can also help you better enjoy viewing wildlife along the stream. Well, I've got binoculars. I've used them for my hunting forays and more recently for my day job when I got to go take a look at some inventory at way up on top of the top rack, and it's just a pain just to get that stuff pulled down, so it's easier to just take out the binoculars and get a good view of that label. I would say that I would have to agree with that 163 through the looking glass. I think that's a good one to call out. So let's give that a rim shot. All right. 164. Let's see. Before we go to 164, I need a little more. 9.5% Voodoo Ranger IPA. I am not being sponsored by them. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, 164, lightening the load. 164, lightening the load. Considering the current proliferation of flies, it isn't all that far-fetched to suggest that a well-equipped angler might need to rent a forklift to transport all his boxes to the water. Ooh, never have there been so many fine flies to entice both fish and fishermen. Anyone with a bit of imagination, a fat wallet can load up in a hurry. Which basic patterns do we choose? The traditional Adams presents most dark-colored mayflies. A pale morning dun pattern takes care of the lighter ones. Elk hair caddis in various sizes and shades cover the water for that species. Beneath the surface, a gold rib hare's eared nymph represents a variety of insects. Adif has a tail to mimic mayflies, a caddis larva, caddis merger, and various sizes of stoneflies, and you got what you need for most situations. An assortment of attractor patterns should handle the rest. I think what it's saying is there's some basic patterns that work, and you can maybe make a variation of it. But bottom line, you stick with those basic patterns, it's going to catch the trout in your area. There is an article that I recall. I forgot when it came out, but it came. I think it was titled like 6 Fishing Flies for Oklahoma, and it talked about some key fishing flies to have when you are fishing, be it for trout or other fish in Oklahoma. It's an article. I'm sure you can find it if you just do a quick Google search. And hey, bottom line, it's got some really good information, and I think it kind of transitions over from Oklahoma, here in Texas, just across the border. I think those 6 fishing flies still apply. All right, so do check that article out. Just do a Google search, 6 fishing flies, Oklahoma, and it should get you pretty close. All right, let me stop and take a little break here because I'm getting a little parched here, All right, let me All right. Next up, 165 from the Little Book of Fly Fishing. Behind the mask. One of the most challenging situations in fly fishing occurs when multiple hatches are in progress on the same piece of water. The dreaded masking hatch occurs when it appears that trout are rising greedily to a certain insect, usually the most visible of the lot. When they are actually eating something else. Interesting. Oh, I'm getting pinged here. Bear with me. What did I just get pinged on here? Yeah. It was on my watch that was hooked to my phone. It's giving me a heads up that I've got something coming in from an order I put in at Amazon. So Oh, well, it just kind of threw me now. So let me get back in track here. Behind the mast 165, one of the most challenging situations in fly fishing occurs when multiple hatches are in progress on the same piece of water. The dreaded masking hatch occurs when it appears that trout are rising greedily to a certain insect, usually the most visible of the lot, when they're actually eating something else. An experienced angler first examines the rise form, which typically will be splashy for caddisflies or midges and more subtle for mayflies. When time and observation, an angler learns to detect which stage of an emerging insect is drawing the most attention. I have to agree with that being able to identify the way the trout is striking or reacting to a hatch will be a telltale of what that particular insect is. I'm just not that good at it. So I'm winging it at this point. I mean, okay, I see splashy. I see purposing whatever trout. I see them slurping away at something that I can't see, but they're just chowing down on it. Yeah, I'm not up to speed there. All right. Okay, number 166, right there. Cure for the muddy water blues. All right. Many fly fishermen pack it in when rivers run high and off color during runoff following a heavy rain. Instead, they'd be better to view this as an opportunity. Trout don't stop eating when water rises. Far from it. High water often carries an abundance of food, including worms and insects dislodged by the flow. Fish aren't picky about when they eat during such times. They almost make faster decisions in dirty water and thus are easier to catch. In muddy water, try a streamer, large stonefly, or something offbeat and splashy, such as a rubber leg pattern. This could be the time to catch the biggest fish of the season. All right, well, wow, 166. Cure for the muddy water blues. All right, another good one from the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. All right, let's see, it's getting a little late here, but let's see if we can knock out a couple of more here. Just one more. Just a couple of more, and then we'll close it out. All right. All right. 167. Reconnecting with an old friend. Okay. Oh, looks like someone just joined. I'm just going over the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing, and just going over some of these tips, and then just calling out some things from it. Oh, and it looks like he dropped. Bummer. Oh well. Reconnecting with an old friend. In our modern infatuation with all various applications of nymphs, we've neglected a method that long formed the bedrock of fly fishing, the traditional wet fly. As it imitates the emerging form of many insects, remains one of the most effective techniques for attracting aggressive trout hunting in the middle depths. Cast soft hackle patterns quartering downstream with enough weight to sink them. Let the fly work through the prime holding spots with a series of lifts that imitate an insect swimming or drifting toward the surface. At the end of the drift, let the fly hang briefly in the current. Don't be afraid to try a double fly rig with this method, tandem rig. Perhaps using a soft hackle wet behind the conventional nymph to imitate two different kinds of insects. I'll tell you what, that soft tackle can be very dangerous when it comes to catching trout or two. And what's also cool is you can tie various patterns. You can go with let's say a gold rib hare's ear nymph soft hackle. So you tie it very similar to gold rib's hare's ear nymph, but you add that soft hackle to it. And I would say very dangerous when it comes to catching some of those guys. And then when they say double rig, tandem rig, yeah, it does help sometimes, because two may be better than one in the case of trout who just can't really decide to strike, but then he sees something to attract, and then you see something tasty that's following, that's easy reach. Hey, another good tip from the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. All right, let's go to 168. 168, wake up call. Okay. You see insects on the water, but every dry fly you choose in an attempt to match the hatch is met with a refusal. First, you're puzzled, then frustrated, then dejected. Don't get mad, get even. As the instrument of your revenge, try an attractor. This can be a large dry fly, a streamer, even a big nymph. The notion is to offer the trout an attention getter that's impossible to ignore. Besides, the switch to a larger flies generally makes easier and more fun, okay? Not every trout will take the come on, but the tactic will often attract enough trout to turn a slow day into success. Then you won't feel frustrated anymore. All right, well, wake up call. So it's really just talking about mixing up the pattern. You started out with these, maybe a subtle presentation, just kind of, I'm going to kind of finesse this thing in there, and it's just blown away. You're just ignoring it. Well, then go the other way. Just throw something that's just huge, obnoxious, and next thing you know, they can't just help it, but they have to hit it because it's just annoying. All right? So, yeah, it kind of reminds me of when you're bass fishing and you're getting bass striking on their beds, and it's because they're just reacting, and sometimes they're just tired of being bothered by this thing that keeps going through their nest or bed or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. But we're talking trout in the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing. All right, well, we got low audience today, but hey, that's part of the game, We're not doing it for views. We're doing it because it's a journal. It's a log, basically, how I kind of keep track of some of the activities I have when it comes to fishing. So it's pretty cool. I'll kind of flip through over the old videos I posted over the years. I got like 3,000 videos. I got a lot of videos. Anyways, it's pretty cool. You can just kind of flip back to a certain time of year and whatnot, or in the past, and just kind of see what you were doing. And it's been surprising. Also, you can kind of see that I've, over the years, lost a little bit more on the hair front when it comes to thinning hair. But hey, it's drives the women wild at times, knowing that you're a mature gentleman. All right, okay. Let's keep going. 169, the living fly. The living fly. Okay. Wayne Mucka, a bamboo rod designer from Montana, devised a large floating fly whose visible feature is closed cell foam. Okay. Body for maximum flotation. There's nothing startling about this, as fly tyers have been using foam for years. Mucka also adds rubber legs, which is nothing special either. What he does next is a real creative part. Oh, shoot. I don't remember this one. Okay, let's read this one here. Got to pay close attention. He ties in, of all things, a marabou wing and tail, an odd combination for a surface fly. Man, a marabou wing. I hope they had a picture of this. Let's keep reading. The result is a floater with tantalizing motion, one that moves like a living organism. It can be twitched and teased for exceptionally long drifts along a tight bank or extended current seams. With a play on words, Mucka calls his creation the serial killer. Asked what it imitates, it doesn't hesitate to reply, bait. Okay. He says, The lesson, dry fly dead drifts are good. Something that looks alive can be even better. Oh man. And he didn't give a picture. He just has a picture of this insect thing here, but Bummer. I was hoping. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if maybe I can make that fly, or at least a variant of it. Okay, so he's talking about a closed cell foam body. Okay. And then rubber legs. Okay. But then he adds a marabou wing and tail. So I can picture the tail. The wing is throwing me. Is it a wing similar to like you'd have like a dragonfly where you kind of, tie in the wings with a figure eight knot or tie? Or is it the wing that's like the sweeping wing of like the Lefty Deceiver, where the wing is actually the top portion of the back or dorsal part of the body? Ooh, I gotta think about this one. I guess it doesn't matter. Just add in marabou and see what it does. I think I'll try that next round. Got the fly tying gear over there, so yeah, I think I might do that. In fact, I'm going to write it down because 9.5 IPA. I might forget things. Okay, so bear with me. We're going to do like Mr. Maka says from Montana. Mr. Bamboo Builder. We'll call it the Maka fly. Okay, and it's basically foam, rubber legs, and marabou. Wing, marabou, tail. Right there. And I write terrible, especially after having half a 9.5% IPA. 20 ounce? 19.2. All right. I'll tie that one next. And I'm going to take it out there fly fishing. All right, let's go to 170. The Invisible Caddis. More than any other important aquatic insect, caddisflies spend very little time on the surface. Common to virtually every river or lake, these insects emerge quickly, break the surface in a burst, and then are gone. Most feeding activity during caddis hatches takes place on the emerging pupae. In their enthusiasm to capture the rapidly moving pupae, trout often make splashes on the surface or even leap into the air. This gives the appearance that fish are rising to dry flies, when in fact no adult flies are on the water. At this stage, it's far more important to imitate this upward movement of the pupae. Is it pupae or pupae or pupa? Well, it's spelled P-U-P-A-E, and we're just going to say pupae. Then to dabble into adult flies that can be seen flying about, but are seldom involved in the feeding sequence. Trout that follows emerging caddis to the surface can be tempted by skittering a high-floating dry fly, a pattern made, or deer. Let's see, pattern made. Hey, we got a typo. It says a pattern made, or it should be pattern made of deer hair or deer or elk hair across the surface, but the subsurface tactic is going to catch you more fish in the long run. Invisible caddis, talking about doing something skittering on the surface, but then they're talking about I think what they're talking about is, okay, you may be fooled that they're hatching on the surface, but they're actually subsurface, taking out whatever is hatching there. So it says to make one out of deer hair or deer or elk hair, high floating. But this one's throwing me. I'm not really getting the full Monty here. All right, hold up. Okay, bear with me. Let me pause real quick. I'll be back.
All right. Okay, I'm back. All right. I'm back. Okay. Let's go. 171. 171. Cold water cure. Oh, man, this is a short one. Oh, no. Okay. Fish are cold-blooded with a metabolism that's tightly linked to temperature. This means that they don't eat as much or react as quickly when the water is extremely cold. Successful anglers stand ready to offer little help. One way to do this is to slow down the drift using extra weight or line manipulation to make the fly move slightly slower than the current. Another is to choose a more visible fly that the trout can see coming a little sooner. Apart from helping a fly sink, this is one of the primary benefits of bead heads. Flies that incorporate bright metal or glass beads work well all year, but are particularly effective during winter. Okay. Oh, well. All right. Bright beads in the winter. All right, I'm going to hold for now, and we'll just kind of play it by ear here, and tomorrow, hopefully I come back online here and give you an update on how it went fishing the tail race at Denison Dam. All right. So with that, for now, next time, we'll catch you later, and good luck and good fishing.